everybody. It's Kelly, and I'm here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks, the podcast. Today is episode 282, Holiday Lite. And we don't mean those things you turn on and off or that blink or that go in your tree or outside of your house. This is do less, enjoy more in this holiday season. Woo-hoo to that.
Oh, my goodness. You are speaking my love language.
I know. You are a front runner of the, well, let's just say you may do less holiday decorating, but you do it all sublimely well, my dear.
Well, you're very kind. I do remember one time for fall, because I wasn't really doing much for fall when I first started blogging. So I only did it because I was part of this blog tour and I had to do something. So I kind of threw something together and I called it, hey, you can do this in 10 minutes. And I remember some comments, this is lame. I said, did you read it? It said 10 minutes. What can you do in 10 minutes?
Come on.
I know. So I'm kind of notorious for my light decorating.
But that's okay. That's okay. Here's the thing. It's just a crazy time of year. So this episode is prompted by, I'm at my Pilates class the other day, which I really enjoy, and I don't get to go to that often. And there we are, and we're all settling in. And my teacher looks around. She's like, it's happening already. There are less people in class. It happens every year around this time. Less people come to class, less people come to the gym because they're so busy. And she launches into a whole reason why this should be, of all the times of the year, the time of year that we come to the gym the most, and we come to Pilates, and if you even want to try yoga or something, because everyone's so stressed out. And she's saying it like it's just like this normal thing. We're all stressed out because it's the holidays. And I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing women I see all the time and people that I don't even know by name, but we say hello to each other, and good friends and all these people in this room. And they're nodding like, yeah, duh, it's the holidays. It's stressful. And I just thought, gosh, that is so sad. And sad because it is kind of true. Like, it is a stressful time of the year. People are stressed out, but it doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I think it's always been a stressful time in our modern day, because there's presents to get. If you have kids, you need to do the Christmas picture. Maybe you have Christmas cards to send out. Not so much anymore, but so all of this takes time. Then often there's entertaining, there's guests at your house. You've got meals to do. And like I said, maybe some company, and that can be very stressful, having extra people in your house. So you can see why it would be stressful. And that's been that way for, I don't know, maybe 50 years or so. But here is some added stress that I think is something really in the last 5 years. I think there's a lot of added stress kind of brought on unintentionally by us bloggers, because we are wanting to show people these ideas for how they can decorate for the holidays. So, we want to show some beautiful ideas for people, and we want it to be something nice that people can get some really good ideas from. But then I think people see them and think, oh my goodness, my house has to look like this. My house doesn't look like this. I don't know when I'm going to have time. I don't have the money to go buy all this stuff. And so I feel like it's much more stressful than even the normal level that it used to be.
Yeah, it's Pinterest stress, all of that.
The Pinterest, the Instagram.
Yes. And it is understandably a stressful time of year. It's all these things and things that you might not normally be doing, like, dinner for 12 or things like that. And it's in a really compressed period of time when, guess what? The rest of your life is still going on, and you have to go to work, and you have to get your kids to school.
And then your kids are home for the holidays.
And then they come home. I know. Sometimes
Everybody's
I'm like,
home.
oh gosh, I wish there was one more day before they got a break, because you have so many things to do.
And then all that cooking for everybody.
Yeah.
I
book a flight to the Caribbean.
It's already
and call it a
stressing.
day.
You know how I have the neck issue when things get stressful. I'm feeling it like tense up right now. I know.
I'm sorry.
Feeling a little tense.
But today what we're going to talk about is not having neck stress or neck issues or trying to alleviate the stress, because here's something that my very wise husband has said to me in years past, which, as you may well imagine, ladies and some gents who are listening, it was not very well received when it was first said.
What do tell?
When you're
what
like,
did he say?
and I'm just really stressed out because, and the bins aren't empty and we still have to do this and your mother's coming in. Who's going to pick her up at the airport? And this and that and the other thing. And then someone says to you, in the best possible intention, but this is the way it comes out. Well, 99% of this, or maybe 95, I was given that. 95% of this is self-inflicted.
Oh, that was a burn.
Ouch. But it's true. And maybe not 95%. But a good portion of holiday stress can be self-inflicted. Like Anita's saying, you're seeing something out there and you're like, I need more lights. I need more things. I need a bigger tree topper. Oh my gosh, I should be wrapping all of my presents in grain sack fabric, with
what? I don't have the velvet.
I wove myself.
Right.
Like what?
Oh, I know. It's
but we don't have to be doing any of that.
No, and the other thing is, bloggers, we're trying to present ideas, and plus, we often have sponsors that are providing the product that we're sharing with you. So we're not having to go buy a bunch of new stuff every time. So, and again, we're doing it to present you with options, with ideas, but there's no pressure, or we hope there's no pressure, or I should say, we don't like that there's pressure for you to feel that you have to keep up with that, because to me, that's just so sad. And that's not what I want for people.
Right. And, and honestly, like we don't even really keep up with it. Like the other day I was on Instagram, and then when we're recording this, we're still in very early November, and I was flipping through, and this woman had, I don't even remember the name of her Instagram. It was beautiful, but she had actually transformed her entire house to Christmas. Like soup to nuts, like the stockings were hung. I think the fireplace was on.
Wow.
Everything was done. And I thought, it kind of made me feel a little queasy. I don't do that. I love Thanksgiving, and I really try to preserve the Thanksgiving before we start. I do probably start a little earlier than I would normally to get some photos. But as the years have gone on, I haven't even really done that either. It's got to work for your family. So the whole blogging thing aside, even the American Psychological Association says more than half of all women in the United States feel a sense of heightened stress during the holidays. And we don't want that for you. We don't want that for ourselves, and we don't want that for you.
No.
So we've got some tips for you today, which, a lot of the holiday stress is like getting stuff done for others, right? That's really a lot of what we all do, right? So it's getting the gifts, and it's decorating the house, and it's making the food, and it's making people feel comfortable, and it's hosting things and all of that. So really what you want to do is make a list of priorities. Think of the things that you and your family really, really like to do. And sometimes you're doing stuff because you think it matters, or you always did it, and maybe it doesn't even matter to them. So maybe it takes time to have that conversation. Like, would you guys be okay if, we got bagels on Christmas morning rather than me making, waffles from scratch in the shape of snowmen? Would that be okay? And if they're like, we love bagels, we don't even like those waffles, then cross the waffle off your list.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In fact, we just went through our Thanksgiving Day menu, and I kind of said, do you want this? Do you want that? And in years past, there were a couple of complicated dishes that they were like, meh about. And I'm like, okay, well, I just took them off the list.
There you go. Exactly. Case in point, meh. And then it goes off the list.
But another thing that I do to really make it easier is a lot of shopping, online for gifts. Unless I know there's some store that's going to have locally what somebody's wanting, a lot of times they're things that I can easily shop for. And I love supporting local stores, and we do that as much as we can. But sometimes there's something that, a lot of times that the girls want that's
right.
Just as
specific, very specific.
Well, maybe if it's from, a store like Hollister, well, it doesn't matter whether I go in the store or buy it online. It's the same store.
Right. And things like like Anita's saying about certain recipes that maybe were just always on the menu and maybe, tastes have changed or whatever, and you get rid of them. Think about some other low-hanging fruit like that. Like, unless you're a diehard Christmas card writer and that's something that's really important to you and you enjoy it, I really think it's okay to let that go. I let that go many years ago.
I was going to ask you. I did too.
Many years ago. And there were years where I felt so guilty. And I remember one time of this lovely woman that I know from around, and like, we're definitely much more than acquaintances, but not the let's go get a coffee together kind of friends, but really nice. Her girls at school with my girls. And right around probably like, I don't know, like right after New Year, maybe even before, like December 28th, I see her in the grocery store, and I didn't even want to go down the aisle where I saw her. Now, normally I'd be so excited to see her because I felt so guilty because she had sent me a Christmas card and I hadn't sent her one. So I didn't, it was that whole Christmas card thing. Like, I don't want you to think I crossed you off my list and I gave Christmas cards to others. So like, the first thing out of my mouth is like, thank you so much for your card. I don't do them anymore. I felt like I had to have that like on my forehead for anyone I bumped into.
Maybe
that was like 10 years ago, or maybe less, maybe like 7 years ago. But I think less and less people do them now.
I was going to say 10 years ago, you might feel the need to say it. Now, not so much. And here's the thing. Once you stop doing it, which we stopped doing it maybe about the same time, people stop sending you cards, and then you're like, you're fine then. Then they stop sending it to you.
I know. My mother and I have had a conversation about this, and we laugh. She's like, okay, but you don't really know. Like, are they still sending cards to other people and they just took you off their list because you don't? So are you like the only person that's not doing cards and you don't get any cards because everyone took you off their list? Like, who knows?
But the thing is,
if you don't like doing the cards, and if it's like, I have to write another Christmas card, I'm going to like, really not be happy. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, that's the way I feel. It doesn't really matter to me how I got off the list. I'm off the list, and then I'm off the hook as far as I'm concerned. And you know what? I just love the person.
Off the hook.
Hey, I love the people, whether somebody sent me a card in exchange or did or didn't before, it didn't matter to me. I didn't keep track of that. And most people are nicer than that. So I don't think it's a problem if you stop sending. And honestly, I'm going to be shocked if we hear from somebody there's going to be somebody who still does it. But there's so many, it's just not done much anymore. And it's such an expense. And then, us with the kids, I used to go do their portraits and then make those pictures and then buy the cards to glue
and
the
it's so expensive.
Pictures on.
It's so expensive. Even now, when you can do so much of it sort of yourself and online, it's still expensive. And I mean, who's keeping those things? Like, they just throw them out. Even if not right away, like a week later, just gone.
Well,
okay,
but
here's another. Okay.
Well, back to the cards for just 1 second, though. Mm-hmm. I loved getting the cards at the time, because that's when I found out what was going on with all my friends, right, and I would get caught up for the year. With Facebook now, I feel like I don't need that because I know what's going on.
Right.
So
maybe more than you even want to know.
Well, some people
are overshares. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Buy gifts early. That's a great idea for sure. Mm-hmm. But how about trading in gifts? Now, this is hard when your kids are of a certain age. Mine are still in that age. But how about trading in gifts when you can for a life experience together? Do something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, get whether it's tickets for something or even just, let's for sure do this. Let's get, go on a canoe adventure, on some river on a weekend, or let's take a hike together and go then out for brunch someplace or something like that. Maybe things like that don't get done unless you really make it a thing and you really put it on the calendar. And that could be a fun gift where everyone can participate together. There's no wrapping and there's memories, and the stuff is stuff.
The other thing you can do, take it one step further. If it's stressful for you having Christmas at your house, what about booking some great resort or something? What about going to out of town and staying in a hotel someplace for Christmas Day?
Yeah, could try. We did that, although we were in bad shakes because we had no kitchen and pretty much no wall. The house was in really bad shape. And we did that way. So I'm not a good judge of whether or not that would fly with my family because we were all just so whoa, kind of reeling from the renovation that year. It just didn't feel like Christmas that particular year. But I know for my girls, they're still of the age where they really like to be in their house. But I know tons of people, for whatever reason, some people have had family members, parents, maybe, the grandparents or whatever have passed away. And it just doesn't feel right for a little while to have Christmas at home. And so they go off and they do it someplace else. And hey, sitting down at a nice meal at a restaurant or something is a pretty nice way to spend the Christmas day and the Christmas holiday together. Or any holiday, whether, this is the holidays. We're obviously talking about Hanukkah and any other holidays that everybody's celebrating. It's the same deal. There's a lot of buildup. There's a lot to do. And sometimes you're kind of on that hamster wheel of getting through the holidays. And that we all know that's not what it's about. So why are we making that what it's about?
Well, so if you're feeling stressed about decorating your house,
yes,
then maybe don't do so much. Even as a blogger, I really don't do nearly what a lot of bloggers do.
You're a slacker.
I am such a slacker.
The holiday
but you know what?
Decorations.
I will be online hearing about people having, basically passing out at 3 a.m. because they've been decorating it all night. And I'm like, oh, I slept like a baby. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel bad for them. I don't mean I'm laughing at them, but I got
some artichokes in a bowl with some, holly, and I'm done.
Pretty much. Well, in country French, let's face it, it really is. It's kind of based on what was in style 200 years ago. Well, what did they do? They put holly and some pears in a bowl and they were done.
Right.
So I have an excuse, but I don't, if it's stressing you out, I just don't feel like it's
so not worth
it.
Yeah. And, it's, and sometimes, like we were saying before with the meh recipes. Sometimes it doesn't, most of the time, it really doesn't matter to other people. It just really matters to you. And if that's what's stressing you out, then just let it go. If you really enjoy, like my mom had all these Christmas houses, and it became like this giant thing about these Christmas houses every year. She'd have to take them all out. And it's like, so not my thing, but she really enjoyed it for a few years. But then after that, she didn't really enjoy it, but she had spent all this time collecting them.
Yeah.
And then she had them all. And you're like, well, you can't leave them out all year. That's weird.
No.
And then, so you got to put them away and take them out. And then she just stopped doing them. And then it was like, because it wasn't fun anymore.
Right. Things change. And so one of the things I like to do is to sit down with my family ahead of the holiday and say, what are your must-haves this year? What is it that you want for the, what's going to be our menu for the Christmas holidays?
Mm-hmm.
And what events do you want to do? Do you want to drive around and see lights? Do you want to go see a play or something? Or, one of the things my family loves to do together is to go listen to Handel's Messiah at a local church every year. And it's an amazingly beautiful and spiritual event. So that's one of the things that's usually on our list every year. And then sometimes we go to Bayou Bend to see the Christmas decorations and the lights. And then there's a few neighborhoods we like to drive through. So it's kind of nice to kind of sit down and decide what things you're going to do. And, if it's something that's not really important to you, maybe there's a lot of things that can go off the list. I mean, there's no need to keep doing them just because you've done them in the past.
Right. And also, like we started the episode with my Pilates instructor saying, this is the time you should be coming to the gym. So whatever that is to you, this is the time you should be taking your dog for the long walk. This is the time of year you should be, because when it gets more stressful, it's more important to do those things that make you feel good and take a little time, a little time to breathe, time to exercise, time to still do the things that make you feel good, that help you get through all the days. Don't cut them out this time of year, for one last run to Target to get more wrapping paper, because that's not going to make you happier. And that's just going to make you stressed out. And therefore your stress is just going to then, it happens. It just sort of becomes an overlay into what's going on. And ultimately that's the complete opposite of what you want.
Yeah. And so I was talking to my friend Brenda last week, and she said, I feel so bad because she said, this year I'm just going to use paper plates. And I said, why are you feeling bad? And she said, she's like me. I mean, she likes using her nice dishes. But I said, look, if it's causing you stress, it's just not worth it.
But isn't that even interesting? Like, could you imagine, that it was so important to her to even say, like, she's like confessing to you, like, I just want to tell you, I'm just using paper plates. Like, obviously, the whole thing is stressful. And then even the choice to not do what she normally does is like a little stressful.
Well, yeah, because she was going to have
each other permission to not.
Right. I mean, and, look, I mean, we're going to use my pretty dishes, but you know what? It's just going to be 4 of us.
Right.
So washing that is not a big deal. But, if I was having 20 people and I had a lot of other things going on, I mean, there's a lot of things that I just say no to around the holidays because I just can't do them.
Yeah. Yeah. And external things too. Like if, sometimes I'm very involved with the girls' school and things like that. I mean, sometimes you just have to say no to stuff because you just can't do it. And I didn't used to be very good at that. And, maybe just deciding one time it's okay. You don't have to say yes to everyone just because they asked you. And that's the same for even stuff that presumably would be fun, parties and things like that. If it's just become too much for you, then just bow out. It's okay.
Well, I think what happens
trust other people might be feeling the same too.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just end up with these, hey, I exchanged gifts with this person 10 years ago. We're not even really friends anymore, but we do it every year. So now I've got to do it, or some party. And, my dear friend, Kathy, I've talked about her. She passed away this year. Mm. And it was very sad for all of us. She hosted a cookie exchange every year. And I loved going to it. It was a great time to see her and to see a lot of my friends. But, I think we've all decided that No one really wants to pick up the mantle this year and keep doing it. It was just something none of us needs cookies anymore. We just went because we loved her and we
Right.
wanted to see everybody. So
Right.
it's kind of its time now is done. I mean, so, that's the sort of thing that I think someone might feel the pressure to keep doing it to honor her, but I don't think we need to keep doing that to honor her.
No, 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 no. Yeah, and it was a lovely thing. You have lovely memories from that. But yeah, it's even a situation where, sometimes you have, distant relatives are coming over and you're like, oh, I better get him some socks. And again, it's like, I remember my mom always doing that. Like, oh, Uncle so-and-so, but we haven't seen him in so long, but he'll be coming by. And yeah, I don't think you need to buy gifts, extraneous gifts for everyone, because it's just that, like Anita was saying, it's this whole back and forth thing, and then you end up with a pair of socks, and the other person ends up with a pair of socks. Meanwhile, you've all had a lot of stress to go get the socks and wrap the socks and then exchange the socks. It's okay. It's okay not to get extra socks for people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just enjoy
and
the holidays
if
with
you
your
feel
family.
if you feel like there's something that, but the other thing you can do, and I'm hoping we're going to have some things in our shop, bespokedecor.store, some gift items where you just buy four or five, just kind of have them stacked up. And then if somebody stops in unexpectedly, you hand them the gift and you're done. And you're not running around, oh my goodness, I got to get this person this
Right.
and this other person. But just to have some things on hand. I've done that in the past too, where I just had some stuff that it's the same thing. If I need a gift, then, you're getting French cookies or whatever.
Right.
Most people are thrilled. So, you're all set.
Right. Go ahead. Clean out your closet. Then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health: potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Well, we just hope that the holiday stress doesn't start creeping up behind you. And just to let you know that we're all in the boat together. And if we recognize what's going on, we can kind of stop the madness and really, focus on what it's all about. And however you come to the holiday, and whatever holiday you come to, with friends or family or on a beach somewhere, watching the waves roll in, contemplating the universe, whatever you're going to be doing this holiday, we hope that you can do it with some peace in your heart and that your neck doesn't hurt and then you go to Pilates and all that good stuff. And before we end the show today, we're going to take a listener question. This one is from Lisa D.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa's got a good one, which I think a lot of people may be facing. How to light a combined living, dining, and kitchen space and do it in a flattering way. Flattering lighting is really important. Yes.
Oh, so how to do the lighting for the
yes.
2 rooms. Okay.
How to do the lighting.
Well, I mean, obviously, my tip is, I know you're going to say the lamps because that's definitely something. It's nice to have the lamp light. That's the more cozy and warm lighting. But I think some candlelights in the ceiling would also be a good idea. I like to have the 3 sources in the room. I know that's something that you talk about, Kelly. Mm-hmm. So I like to have the candlelights and then perhaps a chandelier or something in the room and then some lamps on the tables. Just something, it kind of depends on the layout of the room itself. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely 3 sources for sure. So you're going to have some sort of overhead, you're going to have ambient, and then you're going to have task. And it is a little challenging to be able to light a space like that. I think all on dimmers for sure, Lisa.
Oh, great idea.
Right. Mm-hmm. And if it's a big space, you may want to discuss with your electrician or whoever's doing the plan with you. You might want to have the ability to turn them on and off from 2 different locations, maybe where you come into the room and then maybe there's a exit to the backyard or something like that. You don't want to have to walk all the way back across to turn the lights on and off. So you might want to think about something like that. I like the idea of some can lighting that can be done very well these days. And I think in a big space like that, so you don't have these pools of light, this way you can have whatever is necessary, 6, 8, 10, however big your room is, you can have them all in different spaces and maybe you can have them on different switches. So when you really want to put on the dining area, then the whole space doesn't light up. You know what I'm saying? So
great idea.
Hands on different switches. And then I really am a big fan of the under counter lighting in my kitchen.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that. And you can have that on dimmers as well. And that's also sort of a nice, it's task, obviously, if you turn it up, but it's a nice night light if you've got it lowered. Flattering light is always very good. So, I definitely choose your bulbs wisely. There are a lot of good LED bulbs out there now, but they're not all created equal. So definitely do your homework on that because you don't want to be like you're performing surgery on your dining room table.
You don't want it too bright or it's going to feel like attack lighting. That's what I call it.
Exactly.
You want it to be kind of cozy lighting. So that's going to be softer lighting. The dimmers are the bomb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. All of the world should be on dimmers. And then as far as what the fixtures look like, I don't think you have to say, oh, okay, I'll take the large and the medium and then give me the small one for the powder room or something like that. If you're doing more contemporary or you're doing vintage or something like that, I think you can mix them and not have them be exactly the same, but they should clearly have the same look, the same feel.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. We're full of good ideas, aren't we, Anita?
I know. Well, thanks for sending in your question. And we are trying to do listener questions and comments every episode. So please send them in to us at decoratingtipsandtricks@gmail.com. Remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey, everybody, we want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. So until next time.